My name is Frankie Johnson, or aka Frankie J. I'm from the UK, based in London. I'm 23, and I've been dancing house dance for the past 3 years now, but have been studying other dance styles since I was probably about 14. And my roots come from Jamaica and Scotland. The age I started dancing was, I think, around about the age of 10, which was my first dance class I took, and it was contemporary dance. And it was through a youth dance project, so I was just involved with other students who I went to school with, and we did a big performance, and I kind of got hooked in the whole performing thing from that age. And then I first started to dance classical from when I was 13, so I did ballet and contemporary. And then I got my dose of hip-hop dance styles when I was about 14, and I started to learn popping. He started DJing from kind of, I think, his mid-20s, and my mum as well, she was a lover of house music, especially like UK style music, garage, jungle. And my dad used to DJ alongside of his other job, which was a mechanic, and he used to have decks and used to just play them at home, and I was kind of always just around whenever he played, so for me it was kind of really, I was easily influenced by the music because he played it a lot around me, so yeah. I think my favourite style of music he played was either disco or because of disco and funk, and I would also say like a lot of deep house as well. Big fan of deep house. I think my connection with hip hop is, like, in honesty, I didn't really listen to much hip hop music when I was younger. Just because my parents were into hip hop, or a lot of my friends were more into current and pop music. That was like current music, so I was never really into it. So my influences when it came to learning about hip hop dance culture, it was more through the dance rather than through the music, and through a teacher of mine called Robert Hilton, and that was when I was 14. So when he started to teach me, it was all purely from the knowledge that he gave me, and I learned solely from him. So a lot of my information came from that one guy, and then the more I got into the dance, the more I started to venture and like meet other people and gain different kinds of information. And then my kind of my interest in trying to find music just came about because I was just trying to find these different artists and what kind of music I liked listening to, and so my knowledge of hip-hop music and stuff started to build because of just being interested in the dance.
I want you to put your full trust in me. I want you to put your full love in me.
I was a bit worried, or a bit kind of afraid that like my friends would be like, he's doing ballet. It would be like, kind of a bit embarrassing because he's a guy and stuff. And so I was a bit more like, concerned that I would either get picked on or something like that. So it was kind of not that I wanted to give up dancing, because I kept my dancing quite private, like away from my school studies, so a lot of my friends didn't know I danced. But I thought if I was going to show them or let them in that I was a dancer, or I was learning how to dance, that it would be through hip-hop rather than ballet, because I thought it would kind of give me less attention. But in fact it didn't give me less attention, it was just like people just like, oh, this is cool, you're a dancer. And and then it was later when I got to about 18, 19 that I went back into classical, because there was a maturity from obviously being that young to then that I could really understand how beneficial classical styles could be from for my body and just for my knowledge. I currently dance with Play Dance Company, which are a professional hip-hop dance company. So we are an all-style crew that specialise in different hip-hop dance styles, ranging from popping, hip-hop, locking, house, whacking, tap, contemporary, breaking, and we're a mixture of different dancers that are from all over. So not just UK based, but we have dancers in the company that are from like other countries as well. I also currently dance with my crew Konoha, which is a hip hop and house specialist crew, and also here performing with Soul Footwork Collective. Konoha, the word is the hidden leaf, which comes from a cartoon that a lot of us in the crew watch, and we're influenced by the cartoon, which is called Naruto. Konoha is the name of the village that the students or the ninjas they live in, and we liked the message of, or the reason, like the message behind the village, so we wanted to name the crew after that. The photo of me from Summer Dance Forever, that came about very randomly. There was a photographer at the dance event who just approached me, and he was like, "I really like your look. Can we use you just to take some photos?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I actually didn't know it was going to be used for the Summer Dance Forever promotion, like poster. And so when he released the pictures, and John was able to tag me into the pictures, I was just like, wow, this picture's great. So it was a bit of a surprise. When it comes to my identity, yeah, it's kind of, I've had a mixture of kind of positive and also kind of not negative, but also a lot of people who have questions, like, and have asked about where I'm from and stuff. So positive wise, I guess it does come about that, yeah, a lot of people don't usually say that I look like anybody else because I have quite a different look, and a lot of people are always like, where are you from? Like, we don't know where you're from. So it's nice to see people like they want to ask and have interest and want to come and speak to me about where I'm from. It's cool, I don't mind. Like, I think when I was younger, it did mind me a little bit more because it was like when you're young and people are asking you those kind of questions, you ask yourself why people are asking you those questions. And because for me, I'm just looking at all my other friends and I'm just like them. So it's when I was that age, it was a bit more confusing, and I would like run to my parents and be like, why are they asking me these questions? But it's just kind of growing up, I've kind of just more and more got used to it and have been more open to people asking me about it. But yeah, I've been quite lucky. I've been offered quite a bit of work just because of how I look, which has been really obviously quite cool. When I was younger, I did get like bullied, not bullied, but it was more because the kids who would pick on me would be more like picking on me because I just looked different. Not that they had anything against me, but it was just purely because I may have just stood out. Like a lot of people would be like, oh wait, is he white or is he black? And so it was because, you know, from people's perspective, because they see the color of my skin, they may think I'm white. But then if I was to be with friends from a black community, they'd be like, he's black, can you not see? So it was kind of like, I used to get these questions like all the time and still do. And I think things like, my mum used to say to me, like, because me, when I was younger, this is like one of the biggest things. When I was younger, I used to hate my hair. I absolutely hated my hair. So I was like, Mum, I want to cut it off. I want to straighten it. I don't like this curly hair no more. And she'd be like, why? Like, it's amazing. Like, it's beautiful. Like, she would tell me this all the time, but I refused to believe what she said. She was just like, just telling me these things all the time. I used to cry about it. I was just like, I want to change my hair and all this. And I think the older I got, I started to understand her more, why she would say those things. And it was like, I'd see myself looking around at people and stuff, and I'd be like, there's not a lot of people with the same color hair as me, or the kind of texture that I have and a look, I guess. And so I started to understand why she used to say those things. And it was just because I was young that I couldn't really figure or appreciate why she would say that. So that's always been one of the biggest like identity problematic situations I've had growing up. But I think with dance, it's helped me to give myself a unique kind of identity in the dance world, because yeah, like you said, when people say, oh, do you know Frankie, the house dancer or the dancer, they'd be like, the guy with the big red afro or the freckles or the birthmark, or they remember my particular thing. So I guess that's...
Besides your dancing,
yeah,
I mean, come on now. It's not all about your hair. Let's be real here.
With how I carry like kind of the roots of my parents into my lifestyle now, like growing up, I didn't spend much time with my father's side of the family, and I'm still yet to kind of still meet them all, and I'm still learning about that side of my family, because they live either in Jamaica still, or they live in the Caribbean. So there's a lot of people I haven't met, but I mostly grew up with my mother, so a lot of my family from Scotland or UK family I've been mostly around, so most of my influence, I guess, comes from my mother's side. But through, I guess I'm quite lucky, because growing up in the UK, or in Bristol, where I'm originally from, it's very multicultural, so my mum was able to always relate my identity to my Jamaican side quite easily, because I was living around it. So it wasn't like I was this mixed race kid living in this white neighborhood, or this white kid living in this black neighborhood. It was like I was in an area where there was a lot of diversity. So it was like I never felt like I was shunned away from my Jamaican side or from my Scottish side. So yeah, I was quite lucky in that respect, and I have so many friends with different cultural backgrounds, so it was kind of it's always, and it still is, I guess, it's a bit of a learning curve still of what my true natures are, and where I get some of my characteristics from, and like what, you know, the similarities between me and my mom and me and my dad. So I'm still learning, I guess, but I guess the cool things about it is things like food. The food on both sides is great. Music, culture, and I guess those things especially have kind of helped to blend into my like natural hobbies or interests. So like music and art and dance and food and people, like those particular aspects are quite big in both Scottish family tradition and in Jamaican family tradition, so it's quite a nice hand-in-hand kind of thing. Two things which with culture where it's more specific with what I'm trying to say is that with Jamaican and Scottish traditions or families, they're very big, and they're very loving and open, in the sense of always inviting people to come to the house to eat. Like eating and family and coming together are like the main things. Like it's not just with Scottish and Jamaican, it happens with a lot of families as well, and traditions and religions, but those things both happen. So the bringing togetherness of people, and the culture is to not just to bring people of that particular heritage, but of everybody. So there's a belief in that everyone is equal, you know, everyone can come together, and I guess that's a kind of a good way to show of who I am, I guess, because I am the creation of two different people coming together. So I mean it more in that kind of sense. And I guess with like kind of art and music, music I guess comes from my dad, but in Jamaican culture, music, you have like Caribbean music, you have steel band music, you have Caribbean style music, dancehall, So there's a lot of reggae, raga, lots of different stuff that comes into that entirely. And music tradition in Scotland, you have like bagpipe music, so kind of cultural Scottish music. And I guess these are just things that I can say, you know, lie in my pathway of my influences. So these are things that all play into kind of making who I am and the makeup of Frankie, I guess. Yeah, my appreciation for music is definitely bigger because I have that amount of influence, and it's not made me so kind of narrow-minded or closed off with kind of the music I'm interested in. Like, just because I mainly do house or hip-hop dance, that my interest isn't just only in house music or hip-hop music, that it's in rock, it's in jazz, it's in scat, it's in country, it's in all sorts. It's just kind of, if I hear a song and I like it, it's just it. I like it, and it's just the thing that my ear likes to pick up and listen to. So something that I really relate to. So when I hear a song, for some reason it makes me see colors. And when I see that color, it kind of gives me a sense of mood in the way that I approach the song when it comes to dancing. So another thing is when I see a song and I see like the album cover of the song and I see the colors of the album cover, it's kind of strange, but I see those colors in the song that are played on that album. So it's like, it's not just to say, oh, because it's red and it was because it's yellow that I see it in these songs, but I can see kind of an interest from the album cover or the colors that I see in my head in the songs that are played on that album. So it's kind of weird, but it gives me an idea as to what I'm doing in my dance when I see colors in songs. So for example, like one color or two colors that I really relate to is purple and blue in songs. With purple and blue, I hear or I feel a sensitivity in music when I see or hear purple and blue. Sounds weird when I say hear purple and blue, but it's like when you see it or hear it, those are the like when I hear purple and blue, it's like there's a sensitive approach to the song. If I see like oranges or fiery reds or yellows, there's an attack. So it's like I see more driven attack when it comes to the dance. So I hear music that has a lot of progression or build up. So there's what's the word? Escalates. So or crescendo. So it comes up, builds up, and I see these colors. I think the main difference that I see with the colors is you have like calm colors. So music that gives me a sense of calmness or relaxation. And then colors that have a loudness to them. So kind of big, loud, extravagant, outrageous. So yeah. So it helps me to differentiate between music that makes me feel like this and music that makes me feel like that.